My name's Tony Costa. In April 2010, I interviewed primary school teacher Rebecca Roberts, who had just returned from Zambia, where she had spent some time at the Itala Foundation School. When you went to Zambia, Rebecca, you were a guest of the Itala Foundation, is that right?
Yes. The Itala Foundation, it's been set up by Tony Foster and Adam Williams, and they've gathered all the money through charity and built a school out there. And this school's got about 1,400 pupils.
Wow.
Just from the village of Mkushi.
What were your first impressions on seeing the Itala Foundation?
I was completely overwhelmed when we arrived at Itala because there was a choir singing. Almost all the pupils had turned out to give us a really warm welcome. There was food put on for us, the children were there singing, there were all sorts of things going on in the school. It was fantastic.
I don't know very much about Zambia, Rebecca. Some of the facts I've picked up were there's something like 10% of adults are HIV positive. It's a very poor country where 50% of the population are living on £2 a day and 68% of Zambians are living below the poverty line. What about malaria, Rebecca? Is it a big problem in Zambia?
Yes, it's a big problem in children under 5 years old.
Do they sleep with nets, or how do they cope with it? Obviously they can't afford nets, can they?
No, they can't afford nets, and a lot of them, because they sleep in mud huts, they haven't got proper beds and things like that where they can attach the nets.
Is there a high mortality rate then due to malaria?
Yes, yeah. We went to a hospital out there and the children's ward was just full of children with malaria.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Because it's a foundation concerned with education, but they also look after orphans, don't they?
They do, and that's something they're trying to develop further by building some more mud huts so that the orphans got somewhere to live, because at the moment they're just looking after themselves in the village and nobody's taking care of them.
What things did you actually take with you?
Well, from my school in Llanfairpwllgwyngyllgogery, we've taken all the chalk that we had because we no longer use it. We have interactive whiteboards.
Did it write on slates?
They've got a slate blackboard, yes, in the classrooms. So we took all the chalk that we had left in the school, and they were quite overwhelmed by that, the amount that we took out there. We took books that we don't use, paper, biros and things like that. But actually, after taking photos, looking at the amount we took, it didn't look very much compared to what they need, and what we actually took is not very much.
Rebecca, what was the saddest or the most disturbing thing you saw on your trip?
I think it was when we were in the school, seeing some of the orphans, such sad faces. On the last day we were there, Adam went up to one of the little children and said, "Can I take your photo?" And she refused, and she sort of walked away from, backed off, and she had such a sad little face and she was sort of afraid. And then when I left, just before I left, I said, "Can I take your photo?" And she allowed me to. But some of the little children, just such sad faces, they just bond with you straight away. And I had one little girl who followed me around for the whole 3 days I was there, and I felt heartbroken leaving them. So the funniest thing I think is their way of life. They're just so easygoing about everything. When we were out there, we were sort of saying about Zambian time, and they just, "Yeah, I'll do it in a minute. No rush."
And a hard question now: what have they gained from you going to actually see them in Zambia rather than you send the money it took for you to fly there?
Going out there at this stage in my life when I could actually afford it, I wanted to go out and see what it was like behind the scenes, and then maybe in the future, after seeing what it's like, I can give my money now. I'd like to sponsor either a pupil or a teacher, because I've seen what it's like. The children, I think they just gain from meeting, seeing there is life outside where they live. There is hope for them. Some of them had relatives over in the UK, but I think just they feel they've got a link with somewhere else in the world. I think that's.
And how strange to you to walk from a school in North Wales and then walk in a school in Africa?
Yeah, even more coming back, coming from a place where they're so grateful for everything, and you come back And the first day going into my school was just quite an eye-opener, how we take things for granted.
Gives you a different perspective.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And just children just take things for granted, and they're so privileged over here. And I'm trying to emphasise that with my children in my class now.
Yeah, and I know you did something very nice, didn't you? You and your friend, you bought a bike for a lady who walked 5 miles just to give the kids the dinner.
We did, yes.
Yeah?
She was actually did a bit of teaching in the school, but every morning she set off from home at 6 o'clock in order to be at the school by 7:15. Then she had to walk back in the evening as well. We decided to club together and buy her a bike from the village. But on the day we left Mkushi, she actually managed to leave home half an hour later and cycle to school. So it was giving her an extra bit of time at home as well.
And what's your overwhelming memory of the whole experience of going to Zambia and seeing Itala?
I feel that I want to go back in the future and spend some more time in the school and get to know some of the children better and do some more work there, because we didn't have that much time to do any teaching and things, but I'd definitely like to go back out there and do some more teaching.
And I bet you still see the face of that little girl.
I do. And everyone I show a photo to, they all comment how beautiful she is and what a, she just had such an effect on me, and I still remember her.
And if somebody, having watched your video and looked on the website, if they wanted to get involved and do something, what could they do?
Well, they could simply donate money to the charity, or there's lots of things we could. I mean, we need money for supplies to send out there because they're expensive over there. They can sponsor pupils, they can sponsor teachers. They're also looking for people to donate wedding dresses because they've now got sewing machines out there. They're trying to get a sewing club going so that they can make some sort of income, and they're trying to hire out wedding dresses because people can't afford to buy them, obviously. So they're going to hire them out to have some sort of income to the school. So anyone who'd like to donate a wedding dress to the charity is more than welcome.
So going to Italy and Zambia has enriched your life.
It certainly has, definitely. Much broader outlook now on life, and you just realise how privileged we are over here. Yeah.
You're happy and you know it, go yeah! Yeah! If you're happy and you know it, shout yeah! Yeah! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, shout yeah! Yeah!